Ciaran, welcome back to Yeovil Town. How does it feel to be back here?
Yeah, brilliant to be back. I got a really nice reception from all the fans and all the boys here, so it was easy to settle in again.
Obviously, your call back came prematurely, obviously, because you weren't expecting to be back at Rotherham in the way it happened. How frustrating have the last few months been because you haven't necessarily had the game time you would have expected?
I think I just try to see it as a positive. I think the reason I got called back, yeah, there might have been slight on injuries, but they wouldn't have called me back if I wasn't doing the things that I should have been doing. And so I just try to look at it in a positive way. I went with an open mind, managed to play in a league that I'd not played in before, under a manager that I'd only just met when I walked back in the door. And I learnt a lot from some high calibre players that are back there. These strikers who have won Golden Boot after Golden Boot, careers that have gone on to only be one that I can dream of. Do you know what I mean? So it's nice to learn off them and see what they have to say about my game and see what their game's like and what I can learn from them.
Mark Cooper's always said that he would have loved to have had you back at the club. The fans have said that they wanted to have you back and improve that striker partnership that you had with Aaron Jarvis at the start of the season. When the opportunity came up, were there other clubs interested, or was it very much you wanted to be here?
Yeah, I think there was quite a few decent clubs interested as well, but like you said there, the way that Mark showed his interest in me last time and showed his willingness to develop me as a player and a person, I think that was unmatched to what I could get elsewhere. And he showed a lot of faith and loyalty in me last time by playing me games when I hadn't played in 5-6 months, and I think it was only right, one, that I repaid him that a little bit, and two, I want to develop, I want to learn, and I think he's probably the best man to do that for me.
You've come back into a squad here which had a bit of a break, a few new faces that weren't around last time you were here. How far can this team go based on what you've seen, and do you think playoffs are more than feasible for the team that's around you?
Absolutely. I think when I left we was in a good position. Since I've gone, I've still been looking at the boys, looking at the results, looking at the games. We went toe to toe with Forest Green last week, who were meant to be one of the best teams in the league. So I've only been back in 1 or 2 days and only managed to train with the boys once. But the standards up there, boys are ready to go. Boys are wanting to fight, and that's the environment I want to be in. I want to be in a team that's pushing for right to the top, and I think that's what we'll do.
Do you have any personal goals yourself in terms of, I realise you only just come back, but in terms of, particularly from the goal scorer side of things, do you set yourself goals in your head? Because I know some strikers like to do that.
Yeah, and I'm not going to share too many because then they might not happen, but I always set targets wherever I go. And one of the things I said to Dan yesterday, I had plenty of targets last time I was here, and it was kind of cut short, so them targets continue. Plus, obviously they'll include fighting for the playoffs and scoring more goals, but if just got to get playing again, and hopefully I can find that rhythm again.
In terms of the difference in terms of the play and the training side of it, how big a difference is there between being at Rotherham and being at Yeovil in the National League, or was actually the gap getting smaller and smaller between the professionalism of the non-league compared to the league sides?
Yeah, I think people would be surprised. There's only 2 leagues in it, but standard day-to-day routines is the same. There might be a slight change in tempo, but apart from that, sometimes I look at some of the boys here and think, "Oh, you're not playing higher." But yeah, it's not a bigger gap as everyone might think.
You're coming straight back into a home game against Woking. What do you know about them as a side? They've obviously changed manager just before Christmas from Neil Ardley coming in and on a reasonably good run now.
Yeah, I've seen since Neil's come in, they've picked up a little bit, and I watched their game the other day where they won 3-1, and they're looking like a decent side. So it's not going to be an easy game for us, but we're out there at Hewish, and that should help us, and especially for my first game back. I think I scored last time on my first game back here, so hopefully go for that again, and we'll prepare properly today and tomorrow, and we'll go into the game fully prepared and ready to take on whatever we're facing.
And I was going to ask you lastly, what do you make of Hewish Park as a home venue? I was there for that game when you got that lovely glancing header into the bottom corner. What do you make of it as a venue with a home sport?
No, I love it, mate. It's like a proper old football league stadium, and the first time I seen it, I was taken back a little bit. Just it's a bit different to what I've played in before, and it's proper. It reminds me when I used to go watch the games with my dad and stuff like that. But the fans are top. The reception that they're giving me and the boys, especially when we're playing at home, even away, like some of the numbers they take away, but the fans is also probably a big part of why I wanted to come back as well.
I have to ask you now, who were you going to watch with your dad when you were younger?
I was a Leeds fan. I think I ended up watching Leeds versus Yeovil back in the Championship in 2012 or something stupid like that. But me and my dad were always Leeds, so I'm sorry about that.
Can you remember the score that day?
I can't, I think it 1-0 Leeds, maybe. I can't remember, don't quote me on it.
Well, good luck for this weekend.
Thank you. Cheers.